It's been a while since I've updated my list of best board games of all time, so I thought I'd invite Cax into Legendary Studios, and I'll give you my new updated list for 2023 here on Legendary Tactics.
Your new list, things have changed a bit.
They've changed a bit. There's some, I don't know, I mean, the last time we did this list was what, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, it has been.
Or
been a
more?
Bit. Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of people who didn't even know we did this list.
That's right. So we'll see. We'll see what comes. So you had an honorable mention?
I had an honorable mention. It's tough to say whether it belonged, where it belonged exactly, but up front is going to be, I really wanted it to be on the list, and it's not a game that I've played much in recent years, but I played a ton back in high school.
So there's a nostalgia factor.
Nostalgia factor, but it is just such a neat game. The fact that it's a war game without hexes, you create the terrain with cards that you play. And you have all the individual soldiers. You can see I've still even punched out some of the counters.
Well loved.
But we played a lot. You can see the cards. I don't know if you can tell how worn the cards are.
Oh wow! Yeah. But this just screams vintage.
Oh my gosh! Yes, we played this so much.
This is great.
Such a neat game. The only knock I have against it is I feel like the rules get a little bit fiddly as you progress through the scenarios.
Okay.
But the early scenarios are super easy to play, easy to learn, and fun. So anyway, that one I wanted to be my honorable mention. So we'll start with my number 10. And the reason why I chose this one at number 10 is because it is a newer game. I have spent a lot of time with it. But
yes. Oh, Mr. President.
I just
already cracking your list. This is great.
I think so because...
Well, you have spent a lot of time with it.
I've spent a lot of time with it. And it's really a game that... this came on my radar maybe like 5 years ago. And I liked the idea of it, and I had an idea in my head of what it should be and what it should look like. Yeah. And in so many ways, it not only met my expectations, but it actually exceeded them. Wow. So it is a monster of a game. But,
it is a monster of a game.
But I love the scope. I love how
I love this. Good luck as president.
What a way to start. Good luck as president. Well, actually,
here you go. Enter the journey.
One of the neat little touches, which I don't think I showed you actually last time, is the traditional letter from your predecessor that comes with
my successor.
So in the top of the box, you get that famous letter that the predecessor, the previous president leaves for their replacement.
Wow!
And I thought that was a nice touch. So there's a lot of really this is a labor of love from the designer. There's so much detail packed into here, but it is playable and it's fun. And
now, one thing that has to be noted with this game is prepare yourself for. Rule books, perhaps, and like checkbooks, and like I don't know. You said there's over 200 pages of charts,
about 200 pages,
tables,
everything.
Check-in. So it is no small
undertaking
game here.
But if you're up for it, an amazing experience.
Awesome.
So that's my number 10. As I said, I premiered it here. I'm sure it will move up on the list the next time I do it. But I just want to for now
coming in at number 10.
Coming in at number 10.
Okay,
that one. So my number 9. Is an oldie but goodie, I guess you could say. 1960, The Making of the President. We've done a bunch of content on this game here on the channel, and we've played this game countless times.
Love it.
Part of my criteria was I wanted it to be games that I have played. I've invested a lot of time in and so forth. And this game is a fun election game, and
it is really fun. It's got a great balance to it.
Great
card driven.
Yep. And aesthetically, it looks nice. It's great components, and it's a little bit of a gateway game. I find
very much so.
Yeah, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, in some ways, Twilight Struggle light.
Yes.
It's got some different mechanics, but like a light Twilight Struggle. I love the catch-up mechanic in it too.
Yes.
So you can never get too. I mean, you can, but it's difficult.
I played one game where I got absolutely crushed. It can happen, but in general, it plays out as a very balanced election game, and it usually comes down to the last. Little bit.
Right.
So
the last 1960, turn, number 9. So going in your number 8.
Okay, now this one, I guess, has become more of a controversial pick in recent years, and they are redoing this as Puerto Rico 1897, or they have redone it as 1897.
1897. Okay.
Had a few production problems. They're working out the kinks.
Are they? All right.
Releasing it soon, but
you enjoy it.
I mean, Puerto Rico for me, and this is the limited edition, limited anniversary edition. With the
the real coins in there?
Yeah, the real coins and everything, and nice thick cardboard pieces, and you got the nice wooden goods and everything.
The mechanic in it, is it a drafting mechanic?
No, not really. You choose. It's more. It's kind of worker placement in a way, but it's kind of a unique design even to this day.
Because everyone that picks an action, everyone benefits from it, right?
Yeah. So when you choose a role, you get a specific advantage from it, like Race for the Galaxy, right? When you pick a role, everyone benefits,
but one benefits a bit more.
But one benefits a bit more, is a bit more of a
bonus for that.
Okay. And obviously, it has some colonial themes, which have become controversial. But the game itself, I'm really looking forward to trying 1897 because it gets rid of all that kind of stuff, that baggage. And the game itself is absolutely brilliant. It was, for me, this was one of the games that brought me back into the hobby after I'd been away for a number of years.
That's awesome.
And it was just because the elegance of the design.
Right. So, okay, moving on.
No
Retreat.
The Russian front.
Okay.
Now, I own all the No Retreat games that have yet been published. I'm still waiting on number 5. So, Carl Paradis, if you're watching,
time's a ticking. Nato's chopping.
And they're all amazing. But what I like best about this one, honestly, is it's kind of the most accessible. Like the other ones, like the Italy one, there's a lot to dig into there. But the game itself, what I love best about it is low counter density. Like your entire German army is here.
That's it?
That's it. The entire Russian army is here.
Wow,
right? So it's
nothing.
Low, it's low counter density.
Throwing around. That's no good. All right.
Landed in the box.
Yeah, we're all good.
And you have
card driven.
Yeah, it's not card driven. It's card assisted because the event cards. You play a normal kind of hex and counter game, but you can throw in these events that change the. So no battle just goes as expected because you can throw in little twists and I automatically retreat. Doesn't matter what your role is or something like that, right? Okay. So you can mix in. It mixes in a bit of variety into the kind of the standard, adding up the odds and
rolling the dice.
So but just in terms of the elegance of the design, it's very uncluttered. Relative to the other games, and I think it just plays really neat. And what is really fun about it is if you take pictures of where you end up at the end of each turn, it kind of mirrors history without you even really trying to. It's just you make the choices that make sense because that's you kind of understand how the historical counterparts made their decisions because it just made sense. Right? Based on what you see and what's in front of you. And I love that. It just puts you right into history.
Okay, great. So that's No Retreat.
Yeah. So what are we up to here? Number 5. 5?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an honorable mention. Yes. Number 6, I think, isn't it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
6 it is.
Space Empires. 4X. This is a new one to the list. I got a hold of it last year for the first time. Not the most amazing looking game.
Yes, I seem to remember being kind of
bland. The pieces, it's one of those things where there's a lot of pieces too. But the board itself, it's kind of just space.
It's just kind of outer space map.
Outer space. And there's a little bit of bookkeeping to this game, but see, it's like.
It's just a big space. It's outer space.
But just in terms of how the game plays, it just feels like it's a 4X game.
It's very immersive.
And you get really wrapped up in building your empire and improving your
ships.
Right.
And the technology bits. And then even the tactics of trying to take out your opponents.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of tactical piece there.
And exploring space. It kind of has everything that you would want in a game like this. And it's really fun. And I've introduced it to a bunch of people and they've all loved it. 4-player is really fun.
Okay.
Because you can't, you don't have any friends. So if you go in one direction, someone else is going to come in from the other side.
Yes. You have to be
so there's all sorts
mindful.
Of strategic and tactical considerations.
What really struck me with this one was when you played it with some friends and introduced it to them, they very quickly got on board with it.
Yeah.
And so that's often telling of a good game.
Yes.
Where you can just hook them.
And if you have someone who likes 4X games, maybe they play games like Sins of a Solar Empire, on the PC, this is a very easy... They
transition to that one.
It's very intuitive, based on their experience with that.
Your number 5.
Number 5, Labyrinth. And this one I'm actually not sure how to place it because it had to be in my top 10.
Yes.
Because we've played a
lot of this game.
And the base game I still enjoy to this day. I've done a lot of content on it. And there is the expansions, which I feel I've not explored
we haven't
as much.
Scratched the surface on those yet.
Yeah, because there's the Forever War and the Awakening.
That's right.
And I know we've played those, and I've tried them solitaire, and they're great. The theme might be off-putting to some people. It is the War on Terra. It certainly was off-putting to a lot of people when it came out because it just felt too fresh,
too soon.
But as a game, I just find it really intriguing. It has that whole asymmetrical two sides, and both play very differently, but it comes together really well. So
that's Labyrinth. Okay.
Number 4. This one was on the list last time.
Oh, now awesome!
It's a game I never get enough chance to play.
Yes,
because I love this game. I think this is Terra Mystica.
Yes,
and I just love this game. It is so well done. It is a heavy Euro type game, but there's so much neat stuff going on. You've got 14 different factions you can be.
14.
You build your buildings,
and
there's so many decisions to make in that space. And there's
oh wow, these counters, eh?
Yeah, I mean, the rules aren't crazy, but there's a lot kind of going on.
Right.
And there's a lot of kind of wheels within wheels, and it's been accused of being a point salad type game. Where no matter what you do, it scores you points.
Okay.
But an amazing design, very elegant.
It is one that I want to get more into.
Yeah, we've
done some like brush walkthroughs, but I'd like to really dive into it.
Yeah,
especially if it's stayed on your list so high too.
There's so much there. It's really great. So
all right, so number three, we have
A Distant Plane. Now, any coin game could have been
on your list,
on this list, but I stand by this as I think one of my favorite designs of the overall. Just how everything fits together and how it reflects the situation. This one in particular reflects the situation in Afghanistan, the conflicts there.
Okay.
And it's just for its insight that it provides, the historical sense of how things work and all the stuff that's going on there. I just found it was one of my most anticipated coin games, and it really didn't disappoint at all.
Okay, it paid off.
That said, I like all the coin games. They're all like my children. I just like some of them more.
At different times too, right?
Yeah.
That's right. But, you tell them all that you have a favorite.
Yes.
I won't say which one, except in this video.
But I keep coming back to this one. I just think it's awesome. It's really neat.
A Distant Plane. All right, and your number 2.
Number 2. And some people might be surprised this is number 2 on my list. Yeah. But that's still a very respectable place to be. Twilight Struggle, obviously. I've done a bunch of content.
I can't disagree with you.
The design
Can't disagree with you.
What can you say? It stands up after all these years. It's almost 20 years old now.
This game is heart-wrenching.
Yes, it is.
This game is heart-wrenching. It is edge-of-your-seat gaming.
Yes.
It really, I've never felt emotions. Maybe with your number 1, actually.
Yeah? Okay.
Your number 1 actually does rival it.
Okay. All right. But just the stress of
this game.
It is a game that if you play with another experienced player, I think it gets better and better and better because you start really manipulating the situation.
Especially because you know cards.
Yes.
Right? You know the cards that are in there and knowing what's come out, what's not come out. And so there is a certain event, 100%.
And the fact that you know what events are coming, maybe not terribly historical.
Right.
So probably from a historical standpoint, it's actually more accurate maybe with newer players that are just fumbling around trying to, fight this Cold War without... But as a game, it recreates the tension so incredibly well.
Awesome. Yeah, it is an awesome game.
Yeah. All right, and my number 1, you have my number 1.
That's over here. Is,
and this was number 1 last time.
And it remains in number 1 spot.
Yes. And we've done a bunch of content for the channel. I'd love to do more.
Yeah.
This game is, in terms, I don't know if this is the game I've played the most out of my collection.
I've probably
it's got to be up there though.
Near 1,000 games.
Yeah,
you have played a lot of Netrunner.
Yeah,
and loved it. Now I played with older sets.
Yes, yes.
Because it was a living game growing, and I didn't get as much into the I sort of slowly weaned off it. I still love it.
It was tough to keep up with the meta after a while. It was very exhausting.
But absolutely, I couldn't agree.
But as a game,
I couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah, just amazing. Poker with bluffing with but asymmetrical play.
Yep.
And it really feels like you're an evil corporation, and just the tension of you put out
we talked about Twilight Struggle.
Yeah,
but that's the exact. Yeah, this recreates that exact pit of your stomach. Don't run there. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't block that one up.
Yeah. Or you have one ice set up to block your server, and the hacker could just walk through it, but they don't know what it is.
Right?
So,
it's a complete game of misdirect and bluff.
Yeah, it's an incredibly deep game. I'm amazed how much mileage they got out of the mechanics over the years. It was incredible. They kept coming up with more cards that they fit. They weren't overpowered, but they added more to the game. An amazing game by any standard, and I really have to say, I think this still remains my #1 game of all time. So if you haven't tried it, I know it's not really available in the same way, but the fans are attempting to keep it alive.
Awesome.
And so,
Netrunner, great choice.
That is my top 10 for 2023.
So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to do that like and subscribe thing below.
Yeah, and comment. Let me know what your top 10 is.
Love to hear
if you agree, disagree. I'm always happy to hear feedback on that.
That's awesome.
So
don't forget to get out there,
get gaming,
and be legendary.